Extra Time Live, driven by Continental. We are back for Heineken Rivalry Week, Dave, and for the New York Derby. But where is everybody?
Whoa, Weeby. The business has already been done here. Red Bull's 4-0 wins. This stadium is red, but we've got one more left, but it's at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even let me in here in this jersey.
I would agree. Now, Weeby, you're a Midwestern boy. You're not from here. I'm a local New Yorker. Let me show you the sights. Let's get to Yankee Stadium. We're in a rush.
Yeah, we got to do it quick. The show is starting. Heineken Rivalry Week is here. 5 consecutive days of MLS action kick off tonight with a derby match in the Bronx. The red and blue sides of New York will come by subway, train, and bridge. Their destination? Yankee Stadium. The best city in the world and one of the best rivalries in Major League Soccer. Welcome to Extra Time Live, driven by Continental. I am Andrew Wiebe here pitch side at Yankee Stadium. We'll get to my partner in soccer, David Goss, here in just a little bit, but in case you needed a reminder, we are 30 minutes away from the 14th edition of the New York Derby between New York City FC and the New York Red Bulls. You can tune into FS1 for all the coverage starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, but we've got the preview show right here, and we have exclusive interviews with Bradley Wright-Phillips, Tyler Adams, Jonathan Lewis, both head coaches, as well as an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Monday night's Secret Walls party in Williamsburg. Of course, there are bragging rights on the line tonight for the red and blue sides of New York. This is the third and final regular season meeting this year. The Red Bulls won at Red Bull Arena a little more than a month ago. NYCFC won right here 1-0. But one glance at the Eastern Conference standings tells you this game is about far more than banter. A top 2 position and potential playoff bye are in the balance. Not to mention possibly a supporters shield in 2019 CONCACAF Champions League spot. The Red Bulls hold a 1-point lead, not to mention a game at hand, but an NYCFC win would leapfrog them over their neighbors. And the New York Derby is just the start this week. Heineken Rivalry Week has something for everyone. From Wednesday through Sunday night, MLS action back-to-back. Dallas and Houston battle for El Capitan Thursday night on Unimas. It's also free on Twitter if you want to watch there. Plus, we've got doubleheaders on Friday and Sunday. Friday, Orlando, Atlanta, and El Tráfico on ESPN. Sunday, Atlantic Cup and Cascadia take over FS1, not to mention the Rocky Mountain Cup on Saturday night. All right, back to the rivalry at hand as the players come onto the field behind me and prepare for their warm-ups. For what the New York Derby lacks in history, it makes up for in intensity. Every single one of these games so far has been must-watch, but in my opinion, there are 5 that truly set the tone for what we're going to see tonight in the Bronx. We start where else but the beginning. A sellout crowd packed Red Bull Arena for the first New York Derby in May 2015. What they witnessed was Bradley Wright-Phillips painting the town red. Number 99 bagged 2 goals, and the Red Bulls bagged immediate New York bragging rights. They swept the inaugural season series too, and by the time Jesse Marsh's men headed uptown to Yankee Stadium in May 2016, Patrick Vieira was in charge of New York City FC. Vieira's first game was a disaster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The sort of whooping that deserves a name. It got one. The Red Wedding. 2 months later, NYCFC got a shot at redemption in their first ever derby win. Thanks to Jack Harrison's cheeky sombrero and David Villa's sure finishing, they got both. New York was blue for the first time in 5 matches, and the third rail finally had something to sing about. Villa was back at it again in August 2017, one of 2 protagonists in an MLS duel for the ages. On the other side was, you guessed it, BWP, the rivalry's most lethal assassin. Just as it appeared New York would be red for the 7th time in 9 meetings, El Guaje decided he'd just do it himself. It took 3 minutes to complete the hat trick and take all 3 points. Which brings us to the here and now. Fast forward to a little more than a month ago. New faces stalked the sidelines. Dome Torrent traded Manchester for MLS and NYCFC. Jesse Marsch went the other way across the Atlantic, leaving Chris Armas to lead the Red Bulls. NYCFC hadn't lost at Yankee Stadium since the Red Wedding, and the streak held. Jonathan Lewis to Maxi Morales, 1-0 Blues, 4 wins in 4 years. All of which leads us to today. The Red Bulls won the first 4 games in this rivalry, and it looked like New York was red. But here come NYCFC. In the 7 games since, the blue side of New York is 4-2-1, and they have been close to even up the series. It is 6-4-1. Of course, those Open Cup wins for the Red Bulls give them that edge as well. If you look at the head coaches, Chris Armas made his debut in this game back on July 8th. He lost 1-0, but in the game since, the Red Bulls have lost just once. And Armas is a local guy. He's coming back to his roots, and he wants a win tonight.
Chris, for you, you were born in this area. You grew up in New York. This is sacred ground for your family. What's it like coming out here and coaching a game?
It's incredible. You know, for me, I will, like, even when I come out now, I'll take a look around and then can't wait for my parents to get here, because for them, it's really special. For me, it's cool, you know, if you think about it, but for me, honestly, on the day, it's so much about getting the points, coming here, playing against a good team, seeing if we're making progress, doing the things we want to do on our terms, and honestly, that's what it becomes so much about, and it doesn't, you actually lose the moment.
For you, a new coach, what's changed for you since the last time you were here?
Well, for 3.5 years, I got to work with Jesse Marsch and watch him in so many ways, like suffer through the day in, day out. He didn't stop. He's incredible, the work ethic, the details. And now what's changed is I'm that guy. So on a daily basis, how many things can I think about? And every guy, every detail, academy, the USL team, and just trying to get a hold of everything. So for me, I mean, it's an incredible opportunity, and I'm loving every minute of it, yeah.
You've been around Supporters Shield winning teams as a coach and as a player. How does this team compare to what you've seen in this New York Red Bulls time?
When I look at the club here and the players, for some time now, and probably more so now, I'm looking at a bunch of winners. I am. The way they show up and treat each other, the way they treat others, the training sessions are competitive, the togetherness, and then the philosophy. We're more like us than we every month it feels that way. And with Jesse, and then we've taken it and try to keep that going. So I do feel like I'm looking at a bunch of winners and competitors in our locker room.
Looking at the other side for NYCFC, another new coach. We saw Dome Torrent be a little bit more pragmatic than Patrick Vieira the first time you guys faced off. What do you expect to see from NYCFC tonight?
Listen, they've had little time to prepare in these few days, but maybe they've been preparing all along. But I do expect them to see some changes and some little nuances. Is it direct play? Is it switches, big switches? And last time there was 24% long as opposed to 12%. So I think we'll see some variations what they try to do. It could be an extra guy on the back line. Does Ring? We'll see, but it'll be some changes, that's for sure.
Well, good luck tonight, Chris. Thanks so much for the time. Andrew, back to you.
Fascinating to hear from Chris Armas, born right here in the Bronx, then moving to Long Island, where he still lives at about 3 years old. He comes back to his roots here tonight, and he's got some similarities with his counterpart on the other side, Dome Torrent, who arrived mid-season, like Armas, from within the same organization, but from a different city. Torrent has been the right-hand man of Pep Guardiola for the last decade, racking up trophies at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City, and he could have stayed with the Blues of Manchester this year and maybe chase the Champions League. But he told me earlier this week that he got the itch. He wanted to be a head coach again, and he took the opportunity to come here to NYCFC and Major League Soccer. Announcing tonight's game, of course, on FS1 in the booth, Dan Kennedy, and on the sideline, Katie Witham. They come to you at 7 p.m. Eastern, but they spoke to me earlier this week about the changing faces and dueling dynamics in this rivalry. So Katie Witham, fresh off making history, and Dan Kennedy, fresh off visiting my barber. How's it feel?
It feels great. Look at my hair. It's just like yours, but not as nice.
Carbon copy. All right, New York Derby going down. These two will be calling it. Make sure you tune in here at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. But behind us, we've got Chris Armas running this team through their drills. And this is not a guy that we've been accustomed to seeing in previous New York Derbys. He has his last one, got the loss, unfortunately, against New York. But when you look back and you see Chris, what do you make of it, Katie?
I think they're ready to go. I think if nothing else, that loss is motivating, and they're excited to get out there in Yankee Stadium on that smaller pitch. And I don't know, I like what we've seen so far out there.
You like the vibes here. This is a place that you would have wanted to play.
Great culture. I mean, you obviously massive fan of Jesse Marsh, and he's a good friend of mine. When used to coming out here and hearing him barking orders, so. Lack of that, I mean, they aren't missing anything. This team is young and vibrant and exciting, and it'll make for a great game tomorrow night, that's for sure.
A couple former GOATs. Forgot you guys connected at Chivas
right.
USA.
Oh, yeah.
I have some good stories, too, by the way.
I don't know if we can tell those stories here on Extra Time Live. We'll leave those for later. On the other side, Dome Torrent, a new name. Of course, we know his resume. I don't know if you guys are watching the All or Nothing documentary, but you see him pop up, and now you see him in Major League Soccer. Dan, when you've watched his game so far, what have you made of his tactical approach?
Well, I felt like under Vieira, New York was just this play out of the back, regardless of how other teams set up. Dame, I think, since he's come in, has been conscious as to the players that he has on his roster, and maybe willing to adjust a little bit more than Vieira ever was. So for the dynamics of tomorrow, I think it makes it even more interesting. I like Red Bulls. I like their approach. I think they match up well against this New York City FC team, but with that said, and Dame's willingness to adjust, it'll be more problematic for this Red Bulls team than in years past.
You're on the sideline, Katie. You get a first-person view at how these guys attack a game, at how they communicate with their players. What do you expect?
I don't know what to expect because I haven't had a chance to meet the new manager in person. It was fun to get on the phone with them yesterday. We spoke to a number of the players, and it was fun and interesting hearing their perspective, because they talked about when the switch with Patrick leaving and him coming in happened. They basically had 1 or 2 training sessions, then they played a game, and then they had another training session, and then they had another game. They were in that busy stretch where they weren't really able to implement his style or his kind of touch onto their play per se, and they're doing that now. And so many of them said it's been interesting because it's like I'm in the same role, but I'm supposed to do different things. And so I think even as the season progresses, we are going to see a slightly different New York City team, which is exciting. But I can't wait to be out there on the sideline, because for him, it's going to be interesting having someone like me roaming around behind him, not something that I think he's used to. So hope for the best for me, guys.
If someone taps him on the shoulder, he knows. It's Katie Witham. 7 p.m. Eastern, Fox Sports 1. The one constant in this rivalry, BWP scoring goals. Come on, he's going to get another one. He has to, right? 11 so far.
Yeah, that's what he does, and he's a product of this, the way this team sets up. High pressure defense and play vertically right away, and that's why he has so many goals, but he's also obviously has that touch as well.
Of course, the unquestioned star man of this rivalry is Bradley Wright-Phillips. He recently joined the Century Club. 101 goals so far in his MLS career. He's scored the most against NYCFC. 11 goals and counting.
Overlapping now for Sam, driving in on Allen. Able to cut it back to his right foot again. And that's finished by Bradley Wright-Phillips. Question opening it up on the left. The long balls for Sasha Question. Brings it down to chest. The cross for Wright-Phillips. And the Red Bulls have made it 2-0.
Question has put it in, and they have scored. Just like that. Right on cue, and that dance is back. He's still got the right stuff.
Lawrence sends on the cross on the ground. Miller missed it. Bradley Wright-Phillips didn't. And the opening goal for the New York Red Bulls. Grella cuts to the byline, gets the cross in, Wright-Phillips, and it's in, it's stuck underneath Saunders. Bradley Wright-Phillips, 4th game against New York City, 4th game with a goal. Grella hooks in the cross, calling up for Briant up as well. Wright-Phillips, the overhead, it's in, absolutely sensational. Question on the turn, Question cutting around, now Wright-Phillips, 7 goals in 6 games against finds space. Wright-Phillips! 9 goals now in 8 games against New York City. Prevented from getting to him. Adams cutting it back in. And Wright-Phillips is there.
Coup. Cause more mischief. Bradley Wright-Phillips! Oh, he has the right stuff again against New York City.
Well, we are here on the field with that man you just watched in the highlights, and of course, you're scoring these goals, but let's talk about the team altogether. This is a hectic 2 weeks. How do you hone in on a big game like this?
Yeah, it's obviously going to be tough with the schedule we've had, but it is what it is. Once you get out, it's 90 minutes against our rivals, and, we're going to give everything.
When you look at this squad right now, how does the team feel about how you're playing, about how this few months have gone?
We're in a very good place right now. I don't want to come across too confident, but we are. I think we're playing well. We're not losing much, and we're scoring goals from, different players, and it's been good to be a part of so far.
Danny Royer gets the 2 goals against Vancouver. What's his game like? What is it like playing off him?
Yeah, he's easy to play with, and also, when you're a goal scorer, it's nice when there's another person that gets a lot of goals. It takes a bit of pressure off, and Danny's done that. He's one of the best finishers at our club, if not the best. I know that's probably surprising coming from me, but he's very good, very clinical. So yeah, he's a dangerous man.
You guys do finishing competitions against each other?
Do you know what? I don't really like to do too much finishing in training. I can't reenact the game. I like to finish like in kind of game situations. So I kind of practice in small-sided games and in matches. So no, we don't really do too much finishing against each other.
A lot of parents right now telling their kids, if BWP doesn't have to practice it, you don't.
Kids, you have to practice, but just for me personally, I like to get my practice in game series, game situations.
So the goals, you're the all-time leading goal scorer in this rivalry. Is there one goal that stands out to you?
I think people think that bicycle kick, if it was a bicycle kick, but it isn't. I remember was it the first game here, maybe we played them and we were 1-0 down, and I think Sasha crossed it from this side right over here, and I left foot volley. I don't really score too many left foot goals, so I think that's my favorite finish.
And any moment from this rivalry, does it stand out?
7-0, obviously.
It's a very easy answer sometimes, Brad. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
11 goals and 11 New York derbies for Bradley Wright-Phillips. 7 more than the next closest, David Villa, with 4. Red Hot Danny Royer's got a chance to move into a tie for second tonight, but all eyes will be on BWP, who's got 15 goals in the league and 19 in all comps. Standing by here with Jonathan Lewis, the hero of the last derby, man. You didn't score the goal, but you applied the pressure, played the pass. Where's that moment stack up for you?
It definitely feels good for me coming into this game tonight. I think definitely we need to come out with that same intensity, like me and the whole team as like a whole. We got to come out and make sure we put the pressure on them. So I think it's given us an idea what we can do to beat them.
So Red Bulls have wins in the first 4 games of this series. The next 7 games, you guys have 4 wins. They just have 2. Is the tide changing in the New York Derby? Is it going blue right now?
Let's hope so. For tonight, we want it to be blue, but I think they're a very good team. We're a very good team, so it's going to be a very interesting matchup tonight.
Their pressure is one that everyone in this league knows about. It's difficult to deal with. Your field is small, but in the last game, you were the one applying the pressure. Dome seemed to have a little bit more pragmatic approach. When you look at this matchup, what do you see?
Definitely, it's going to be more of the same thing, so we're going to have to definitely apply a lot of pressure today, and they're going to be a lot better in possession. I feel like I've been watching them a little bit more, and they're a lot better in possession than they used to be, but their key is their pressure, so we're going to have to counter-press them, and we're going to have to break up their play when they're playing out the back.
Speaking of Dome, tell me about playing under a new manager. Patrick Vieira was so good here. He got the call to Nice. In comes a guy with experience at some of the biggest clubs in the world. What's your experience been like?
Definitely, it's been good. He's been giving me a chance to play, and he lets me just go out and just express myself. So he's a very good coach, and Patrick has taught me a lot of things too that I've used under Dome now, and I think it's helped me to be pretty successful under Dome.
Last one, let's get ready here. Coming off the bench, how do you stay mentally prepared throughout this game? What are the little tricks of the trade?
Just watching what the game is giving. So I just see where the weakness is. I'm able, like, people are tired when I come on, so I'm able to see like where I can exploit and use my abilities to show and help the team as best as I can.
Tired legs. Jonathan Lewis looking to exploit them. Jonathan, thank you for your time, man. Good luck today, okay? All right. 7 p.m. Eastern on FS1, the New York Derby. Tune in at the end of our show here right now. But in the meantime, we sent David Goss out to Williamsburg on Monday night to get a behind-the-scenes look at Secret Walls. Let's take a look at that now.
Heineken Rivalry kicked off with a party here in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Both New York fan bases coming together to enjoy 3 artists, one representing New York Red Bulls, one representing NYCFC, in a street art competition to show the passion of these 2 clubs. What a perfect way to begin a huge week.
Born and raised in the Bronx, grew up doing graffiti on subways in the early 70s, and something like this, it just drives you, especially a team that represents your neighborhood, the Bronx. It's fun.
All of us artists have really different styles, and bringing us all together to make one awesome piece, it'll be cool to see all of our styles really pop and really blend.
The huge part of the rivalry is the fans, and whenever MLS is able to offer through its sponsors the type of experiences such as this, it adds to the experience, which is great.
Oh, this is really cool. Like seeing the graffiti go up live is really, really intense. We're clearly winning this battle right here. Clearly winning this one.
7-0, 4-0 at home. So, you know, we've been winning so far. So this means a lot, though. We got to show them who runs New York.
What an insane battle. NYCFC!
That looked pretty good, Dave. Daddy Duty kept me out, but I hear through the grapevine that there's going to be some art to debut tonight for NYCFC fans.
Yeah, I talked to some of the supporters. They said it's going to be the biggest tifo ever in NYCFC history. A lot of epic Red Bull fail moments are going to be projected up there before the game.
They've got some to choose from, and I know Red Bulls fans know that. 7 p.m. Eastern, FS1. If you want to see the tifo, if you want to see this rivalry match, make sure you tune in. We're almost there. But when you look at this game, when you look at the rubber match, so to speak, in 2018, Dave, what do you see?
It's one of the most important games they've ever played against each other because of the standings, because of the potential Champions League place as well. I look at these 2 teams right now. Without Medina, it's a huge loss for NYCFC. They don't have that cutting edge out on the wing, space for Villa to operate, so I think this is a game that New York Red Bulls can get a win on the road.
Just 1 win in their last 4 for NYCFC. That came here against Tin-Man Toronto FC. This is just the beginning of Heineken Rivalry Week. By the way, Wednesday all the way through Sunday. So many good games. Thursday, El Capitan. Friday, you've got that doubleheader on ESPN, and then we do it all again on Sunday on FS1, plus Rocky Mountain Cup on Saturday. I can't let you go, though, Dave, without a prediction about this match. Who's going to win it? Who's going to have the bragging rights?
I think it's Red Bulls. I think right now they're in better form. I think it's an NYCFC team that's struggling a little bit. You see that in the starting lineup they chose.
I think I'm with you. If that starting lineup was first choice, I think NYCFC would take their 2nd straight here at Yankee Stadium. But for the first time since 2016, I'm going with Red Bulls, and we both said it, which means it's jinxed.
We apologize up front for the Red Bulls fans.
7 p.m. Eastern right now, FS1. Go tune in. Thank you so much for hanging with us right here on ExtraTime Live, driven by Continental. We have a great time. We'll be back in a little bit. Go check the MLS app for those lineups and make sure your fantasy team is set. We'll see you after the game, everybody.
Fans, it's now time for